So before I came into the healing spot, I was experiencing a lot of pain during intercourse. I've been married for 4 years and it had kind of come and go, and I wasn't really sure why I was experiencing it or if it was normal. And after a while, I kind of realized it was not normal. And so it had been a while that I experienced that, and I decided I had to do something about it. Also, in addition to experiencing pain during intercourse, I was about 3 months pregnant at the time and really wanted to work on mobility in my pelvic floor to prepare for birth. So that was another reason of deciding to make this jump into coming to see Justine. So I had talked to my sister, who's actually a Pilates instructor, and she was explaining a lot of the mechanics that we don't, women aren't always told about. And so she was kind of explaining that a pelvic floor therapist might be the best person to see to work on those muscles, work on strength, work on, again, mobility, or anything that could empower my birth experience, or also just make me feel more confident in being able to do that and understand how all of that works down there. Before coming into therapy, I was doing a lot of stretching and maybe some exercises and researching on my own how can I help myself in these areas that I needed help in, but I really wasn't finding anything that was solving my issues. Before coming in to see Justine, I was really researching different pelvic floor therapists that my maybe insurance could cover. And so I did that for about probably 2 months, and I finally found the healing spot, but it actually wasn't covered by insurance. And that was kind of a hurdle for me. But there was such a difference in the atmosphere of the healing spot, meeting Justine, talking to the receptionist about the healing spot and their mission and just their care. And it was very different from any other pelvic floor therapist I had talked to. And so that is what really motivated me to choose the healing spot over my other um, places that were maybe more covered by insurance. And it was clear that it was very warm and understanding. I felt seen, I guess is a good word, of, okay, these are all women, so they also have probably experienced what I have to some extent. And I felt not that none of it was awkward or weird, or I would even say kind of mechanical, or it was just very personal in that way. So not being covered by insurance was definitely a hurdle for my family, and just the amount of money we were going to spend on this. But after talking to Justine and really understanding the process, and I just knew I was never going to regret investing in my health. And that was something my husband and I talked about, even for our relationship and for my body and healing postpartum. I just knew how traumatic that experience could be. And so I wanted to be prepared. And really, money was not going to be a factor for any investment in my health at that point. So after realizing the amount of money it was going to be, I talked to Justine and was really honest with her about the experience, that I was a little nervous about investing that much. But she was like, okay, we can do a payment plan. There's a lot of ways we can help you out here. And also just, again, helped me understand the importance of investing in my health. I think what I've really enjoyed about the healing spot, and specifically Justine, is that she not only takes the approach of care and warmth as she's taking care of you, but she's teaching you about what's going on internally, maybe, or other ways you can take, an exercise outside of your time with her to help you. So she's not just working with you in the moment, it's also, how can I prepare you for the future of this too? And I really, really enjoyed learning about my pelvic floor, as well as actually helping it heal. So I'm 3 months postpartum now, and I would say, one, I felt very much more empowered of understanding my body more, in that, especially in my pelvic floor and the muscles and all of that. So I felt more educated, I guess, going into birth. I knew the parts of my body that were maybe going to struggle or needed more care, and so really working on those and preparing myself has been huge outside of just our sessions, because Justine gave me a lot of those tips to help me feel empowered during my birth. I also feel like I understand how to do different practices at home to help myself with healing my experience of intercourse. And again, understanding and knowing what's going on and why was really big. And so I'm feeling much better. I also had lower back pain, and that has been healed most of the time I come in. I feel so much better, and it's totally changed my experience of caring for my baby now. And all the time you're holding your baby, and so much of it is strength that I needed. And so I feel a lot more of a bounce back in the sense of strength after having my baby. I would say if you're on the fence of trying to jump into this or not and kind of going back and forth the pros and cons, I would say looking back, there's just so many pros that I didn't even know. I mean, I feel so much more educated in understanding my body. I felt way more confident, I think, than I would have in my birth experience. I think my birth actually went better. And because I had gotten so much more mobility back throughout my pregnancy as I worked with Justine, and I would say also it's a huge benefit to my marriage, in not having as much pain during intercourse, and also just understanding why and what's going on rather than just living in so much unknown. So I would say you're never going to regret investing in your health. And it's not, I kept telling myself, it's not okay that I live in pain every day, or these things that should bring joy, why are they not? And money doesn't really have a price tag on your living life to the fullest.